I am live, and I've chosen the very nice, even though I'm sitting in a chair, I need a green screen, a very nice nature forest and nature sounds to calm us all down on this Saturday. Plus, it's really, really hot outside, and a nice shady forest would be ideal. Yeah, I look weird with the chair. So, yeah, I need a green screen. I need like a green cloth that would work. I should do that. Then I could just be zen with the forest, one with the forest. Amy the fairy, the forest fairy, coming to you, which I kind of am already. Um, so here I am. Happy Saturday. I will tell you the story about work. So last week, last week, and they keep changing the schedule. I don't think it's just me. I think they change it. Last week they said on the schedule that I worked Thursday, Friday, double Saturday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday. And me and my coworker Anne Marie both looked at that and she said, "Well, I didn't want to work Thursday, so how about I work your Wednesday and you work no. How about you work my Wednesday, I work your Thursday. We switch. So then it makes it Wednesday nothing, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday." I was like, "Okay, good. That'll give me a break." So I work the Wednesday. I work last night. I get ready. I take Karen for a walk and I get ready and I race to work for the matinee. And it's open, but they're cleaning it. There's no other workers there, only people cleaning it. And I'm like, clearly I've gotten something wrong here. So go out in my car, look at the schedule, and now it says that I work, what was it? It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday. So in my head, and this is Tauruses hate this. Tauruses hate schedule changes because we like to know what's going to happen. And also being an empath and having a PTSD and all that, it's really, I have to have my brain in the right place. So I have to know what I'm going to put up with in a certain day. So now, so I've gone there once. I have to go again tonight, and then I have to go twice tomorrow. And I got hot thinking about it. So yeah, so I go to the store, and then it's hot, and there's people everywhere, and there's people all in the store, and I'm just like, having almost a meltdown of emotions because yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me. My brain was set on get through Saturday, barrel through it, don't think, don't feel anything, just work, make the money. And even if I didn't get paid, if someone wanted me to come into work, I would go because whatever, because that's the kind of person I am, right? um, they need me, I'll go in and I'll work. But the money's why obviously I am there long term. Anyway, this is the worst life ever. I should just like stop this and erase it. But anyway, I'm going to keep going. So, yeah, so I've been there. I got to go back and then I got to go twice tomorrow. Uh, see, but what I think, and here's the spiritual aspect of it, here's why you guys would want to hear this possibly, besides me just complaining, is because I swear that lately there have been a lot of timeline switches. And so, because I've had this happen more than once with the schedule, and I check, I double check, I triple check, I triple double check. It's there. Okay, it's locked in. And then you turn around and it changes. And I swear to gosh, there's timeline changes and it shows up on something like a schedule. It shows up in money. It shows up in whatever. Things like a lost key. Can't find the key. Can't find it anywhere. Okay, I finally find the key after 2 weeks. I find it. But now my name tag that was right there is gone. It's almost like a foot in the water of a timeline change. You're 1 foot in this timeline and 1 foot over here, then you flip feet and it flips. It's weird. You guys let me know. I'm only telling you all of this because I feel like you've probably been through this too. Tell me I'm not the only one who's going through timeline changes. It's very frustrating. Um, so yeah, I'm probably on security camera at work, going in there and being like, "Where is everybody? Oh my god!" Um, and then leaving, looking like an idiot. Um, I'll be back there tonight in a few hours. So the other thing was I was going to do a live tomorrow, knowing that I had the afternoon off. So I'm doing it now because now I have this time. And tomorrow I'll be working my butt off, whatever. Is anybody here? Someone's here. I was like, I'm just going to turn this off. I'll turn it off and redo this stupid video live, but somebody's here. So I won't do that to you. Here, you get to see my, you know who I am. Remember how I said before that I'm like George Costanza from Seinfeld? And I actually was corrected. I am Richard Lewis. You know how the comic, I was going to say comedian, but wouldn't it be comic because he's a guy? Richard Lewis. He's the guy who died recently, and he had anxiety and depression, and he talked about his drug issues. Thank God I don't have drug issues. But I remember being a teenager and seeing him on a talk show, and he would talk really fast and talk about his anxiety, his depression, his parental woes, things with his mother, you know. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just like this guy. I'm just like him. I should go read some of his work and watch some more interviews with him. And I know he's been in some movies and things like that. But I'm a lot like Richard Lewis. I really am. I'm the female Richard Lewis. That's what I am. I wish I'd met him. He's a very interesting guy. And he really helped people with their addiction and with their depression, because he would talk openly about therapy and how he got through it. But okay, so moving on. I was going to talk about politics. I've got added to my other things. I have a headache on the right side. It's been there all day on the right side. Tomorrow it'll be on my left side. That's how they work. Just in time for my double Sunday. But one thing I was thinking about doing was, because I do ramble on, and because when I get questions, I can see that everybody wants to talk more about spiritual, personal stuff, which I'm happy about. I love that. And then when I try to do the politics mixed in with that, it doesn't work so well. I can feel that it doesn't work because politics are really dark right now, and they don't fit with us talking about just general life and spiritual and what have you, and just how's your day? How's your day going? So I do kind of want to separate them. The problem is, to make videos, I edit and I won't upload them. So I think it's hard. I do want to have, maybe I'll specify this is for politics, this one's for personal. That might help. But right now, because I have to go to work later, I just going to do this live, so I don't edit, so I don't not upload it. So I'm here. And the politics. So let me go through that because, you know, I got all these hits. I've been getting a lot of hits lately. And one hit that I was getting, and I usually put it in my community page, but that one reason why and Spirit told me this the other day, the reason why I really don't think 45 is going to win the election, and other people have said this too, he's not going to win. Well, then you get that fear and you think, what if I'm wrong? What if he wins? Then everybody's going to tell me that I lied and I led them on, and I'll be mad at myself and my spirit guides and whoever, which I can never really truly be mad at them. But you get that fear and you think, well, I better leave the country, and because if 45 is going to be president, I'll be first on the list to go in some sort of prison, to be clear, because I've been very vocal. And he's going to round all of us Democrats up. I'm not joking. That's what he was going to do in 2020. So yeah, I get that fear too, just like everyone else. What if 45 wins? But Spirit's like, nope, he's not going to win. So what they did was they showed me this. They showed me a blue, let's say army, okay, a blue group of people. That would be the Democrats. And the red group, of the red army or what have you. And they showed the blue army was massive. And the red army was not, like a front line, maybe a front line, and sparse. Just, it didn't fill out the field on their side. Just not that, the numbers don't match up. The blue side, let's say a mountain, okay, and blue side is a mountain, or the tsunami, like we talk about the blue wave, and the red is just a red tide. It's really that much of a difference. they said, look at his trial in New York and how little, it was a low number of people that showed up day to day. It was like 2 or 3 people would show up and with their crazy signs and people crying. There's like the fanatics. And he'd say, oh, the cops are keeping my followers away. No, they just weren't showing up. The virus probably took out a lot of people. The really radical ones from the insurrection went to jail, and they're on the FBI list, so they're not going to. Hi, Fatima. Hello. I'm good. How are you doing? I've got this headache over here, but I'm okay. I think the weather also, it's like hormonal, monthly crap right now, but also the weather, and it's like, ooh, right here. But otherwise, I'm good, and I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. So, yeah, we had this huge storm. You're okay? Good. I'm glad that you're okay. It's, sometimes you just have to take every moment as it comes. And I'll finish my political talk about the blue and the red wave. The red wave is not a wave. It's a lapping of the shore. But sometimes you have to take every moment, and because we are in such heavy times right now, and it is hard across the board. There's a lot of stuff going on, not just in politics, but in life. So, and I know that you talked about with your family being sick, several members of your family. So I send some love and prayers to you for your family and hope everything's well. I know that's very stressful. So, but politics, keep that off. Nice to see you, Fatima. Politics. Okay. So the red, Spirit showed me the red, we'll say mountain, red mountain, blue, or red wave, tsunami, blue, just a little tiny puddle of water. The red numbers are not up there. They're just not matching. He didn't have the people at his trial. He had to have the red tie brigade come in because he didn't have followers. People that go to his rallies, not that many. And then the ones that do go leave, and he's also advertising for people to show up to his rally. So that's not even representative of real voters. And we're talking about who are the real voters. So Spirit showed me it across the board. He doesn't have the numbers. He literally doesn't have the numbers. Bots. Okay. So you go online, you say something, you get all these, like one time I got 500 comments. Well, a lot of those are bots. Those are not voters. Again, the radicals, they're on FBI lists. So they, yeah, what does that matter? Because you could still vote, right? Maybe they can't. Maybe there's certain people that can't vote. I don't know, but there's just not enough numbers. Weather very comfortable so far. Good. It's actually kind of cloudy here because of the storms that went north of us, and we have. You hear my nose? I think that's from the low pressure. I'm a human barometer. But yeah, it feels better. I just went out and watered some stuff, and it's pretty muggy, but there is a cool breeze. So maybe you're having the same thing. Are you in Canada, Fatima? Or are you in northern United States? I can't remember. But yeah, it's gonna be hot this week. It's gonna be 90s, I think. So that's Fahrenheit, obviously 90 Fahrenheit. All right, so yeah, he doesn't have the number. So come November, if he's still there, oh, you're in Canada, okay. Toronto, nice. I saw a video where someone went to Vancouver, and I thought that is the most beautiful place. You probably have to have a high cost of living to be there. It was really beautiful, and I thought, man, if I had, a ton of money and I could move anywhere, Vancouver looked absolutely beautiful. Now, if it's cloudy a lot, I probably wouldn't like that, but just from the ocean and the mountains and the whatever, really pretty, and the shops and everything, it's just really, really beautiful. The scenery is beautiful. So Toronto, that's nice. Yeah. And you guys are very French, so you're probably happy about the Olympics coming up here that you get to watch. Are you guys, I know you guys are connected to France. So let me know if you're all hyped up about the Olympics. I bet you are. Toronto is the top 10 most expensive. Yeah, I bet. Canada is expensive anyway. And then you add that because it's a huge tourist destination. So, but I guess you get used to it. You live there and you're just used to it. Yeah. Is that about the Olympics? I'm excited. I'm super excited about the Olympics. I just wish. Here's what I wish. I've been watching a lot of ballet stuff. Um, and these ballet dancers to me are athletes, especially these days. It's gotten a lot more athletic. I would love to see a competition in the Olympics that is ballet, although they say it takes away the artistry. I don't feel so because figure skating in the Winter Olympics, to me, that's artistry. Why couldn't they do ballet? But I know that that's just, they're never going to do that. But see, the setting of France, it would make sense. It would be so beautiful to have it there. But otherwise, I love to watch the diving and the swimming and all of that. It'll be fun. I always wanted to do something like that. If I had a million lifetimes in one life, one of them would have been I would have done um, like running. I've always kind of wanted to do track and field and things like that. Um, and the other one is figure skating. I always wanted to be an ice skater, and the other one is I wanted to be a ballet dancer, and I could still do some of those things. But anyway, so we'll get back to politics. So yeah, the numbers aren't there. 45 knows the numbers aren't there. He keeps talking about the polls. The polls say I'm ahead, so he's gonna say that. He's gonna say when he loses, he's gonna say, "Yeah, they're all good." I agree. They're all fun to watch. No, but he's gonna say the poll said I was ahead, so clearly the Democrats have, you know, fudged things up. I can't say too much because YouTube will get me. We know that's what he's going to do. He's going to cite the polls. Now, I don't believe the polls. Sometimes, yes. But most of the time, no, I don't believe them. I don't believe them. Um, yeah. So, anyway, back to this. So, Elon Musk, besides 45, my least favorite person is Elon Musk. You know that. And, oh gosh, what is this? So, Elon Musk, he was pushing to have this 52 billion, not million, $1 billion pay package for himself, not for his workers. You know how like a boss of owner of a company would give his worker or her workers a bonus, maybe around tax time, but usually around Christmas, right? Because that affects taxes for the rest of you. That's a good way to lower your what you have to pay in taxes as a business owner. I'm assuming that's why they do it, not just out of the kindness of their heart, but yes, out of the kindness of their heart. And it keeps your workers there. It keeps them happy. Um, well, Elon Musk, he's not thinking of that. He's only thinking of himself. And I really feel like Tesla has fallen completely into the trash dumpster. He's been found of, for entertainment purposes only, he's been accused of sexually harassing female workers. He doesn't pay them. He didn't pay rent, and there's a lot of things, and the quality of the cars, like the Cybertruck. I saw one out in the wild. Um, it's just ridiculous. There's so much that he is not actually putting money into that he should be, but he's only wants it for himself. Why? Because he's the greedy 1% who doesn't care about workers or quality of product. And they said this. They were like, that's why we're not going to give you this $52 billion. And boy, he found a way to do it anyway. Well, I think that is the stone in the grave of him owning Tesla, which, by the way, he didn't create the Tesla. It was somebody else. So I really feel like it is going to swap hands. And I've always seen that it would go back to a country like Sweden, someplace like that. So the thing I've talked about this before, but the problem I have with Elon Musk is he's part of the 1%. He'll do all these awful things, but he doesn't want to be taxed. And why is our country so messed up right now? Why are people hungry right now? Why are people homeless right now? Why do we not have health care? Why do we not have good education? And it could be better. We have good, but it could be better. Okay, everything can always be better. But why are these things like this? Well, because we're not taxing the 1%. It doesn't mean we have to tax them more, but we need to tax them appropriately. They're avoiding this. They're fighting back. The NRA funding certain members of the Supreme Court and Congress, and look what they're doing with the bump stocks and all of that, to arm MAGA people and scare the rest of us into submission. But the money, greed, greed, and greed, it's just awful. It really needs to change, and it will. It will change. But you see how they're fighting back. So, I was thinking about that this morning, how it really comes down to, because someone posted something about birth control. And what people don't understand about why, they talk about the 2025 plan and all of that. Why is that around? Why are they against birth control, which is a woman controlling her, rights to reproductive, to being pregnant, her controlling her own life, her body? Why are they against it? Well, there's a primal thing in, I'll say, the masculine to control women into not wanting to go anywhere, because you could be raped and impregnated. And if you're impregnated, you have to stay home to protect the baby, right? You have to feed the baby, you have to protect the baby. They don't want women to go out and be free to roam and have sexual partners and have a life and have a career and have control over her body. It's this primal caveman thing to keep women at home under their control. Birth control is about control. They want to take control of the woman. It's also a rapist mentality of, that's not your body, that's my body. That's what it is. Just saying it as it is. So abortion, right to choose, and birth control, reproductive rights and health. This all goes back to a very primal thing with men. And also it goes to, and speaking of Elon Musk, how a lot of the men of the house in the South, right, would have slaves. And he would have a female slave, usually a house slave, and a male slave that would get her pregnant. And then it would populate his slaves. And then I hate saying this, but this is the truth. And reproductive and birth control and all of that, it goes to that. And you want to have a massive number of uneducated workforce slaves. That's Elon Musk. That's what he wants. That's what the 1% wants. They don't want us to have control over our reproductive systems, our freedoms. It all goes down to that whole slave mentality. The Confederacy is still here. The insurrectionists they're flying the flags. It's all part of that. And I feel dizzy saying that, but that's the truth. And I just had to get that out. That was one of the dark political topics that I wanted to get out today. Not very fun to talk about. So I'm sorry, but I just had to get it out. It's the truth. It's the absolute truth. So this whole 2025 thing, it's more than Trump. It's all of that. It's all of that. And instead of trying to control us, women, the female, not just women, but the, female energy of the planet, they need to fix themselves. They need to go to therapy. They need to work on themselves. It's really sick. So when I see the Supreme Court doing what they're doing, it's really obvious. When I see people like Elon Musk, it's really obvious. When I see, that's what I want to talk about too. When 45 went back to the Capitol the other day and they're all clapping, this insurrectionist and his aiders of the insurrection, they're clapping. It makes you sick. But they're trying so hard to do this primal caveman thing. They don't even realize it's a primal caveman thing that they're doing. That it is. It's greed, and it's that primal toxic masculinity to control the feminine. That's why they don't like people who are gay, because gay people aren't going to go have a million kids that are going to work in their factories. Gay people are going to probably have more pets and live a happy existence. And, I wrote, is it a sin to God to be gay or to the 1%? And the truth is, it's only a sin to the 1%. Because they don't want happy gay people. They want a submissive woman producing a whole bunch of children so they could have them in their workforce. It's very sickening and primal. So, okay, so speaking, I feel like I need to drink a cleansing drink of water after that. Speaking of that, of going back to 45, going to the Capitol and the Mitch McConnell clapping, it was gross. But when I saw that, I thought of The Emperor's Clothes and The Emperor's New Clothes by Hans Christian Andersen. And I found those passages that I put on my community board, and they fit so perfectly. So I'm going to read them. Now tell me this doesn't sound like 45 walking into the Capitol, okay? The lords of the bedchamber, we'll say the Capitol, who are Washington, who were to carry his majesty's train, felt about on the ground as if they were lifting up the ends of the mantle and pretended to be carrying something, for they would by no means betray anything like simplicity or unfitness for office. So now the emperor walked under his high canopy in the midst of the procession, through the streets of his capital, and all the people standing by and all those windows cried out, "Oh, how beautiful are our emperor's new clothes!" This is like Mike Johnson and Mitch McConnell and others and Marjorie Taylor Greene. "What a magnificent train there is to the mantle, and how gracefully the scarf hangs. It's all invisible." In short, no one would allow that he could not see these much admired clothes, because in doing so he would have declared himself a traitor, either a simpleton or unfit for his office. So, like, if they said that 45 has no clothes, if they said that he's a charlatan, he's a usurper, he's, all these things he really lost, he's a narcissist, if they said this, he's going to have them, stained and kicked out. So certainly none of the emperor's various suits had ever made so great an impression as these invisible ones. And you can see them, yes, as they clapped as he walked in. Yes, look at his outfit of gold, and he's not wearing anything. He's a disgraced convict about to be sentenced to prison, to Rikers probably, and home confinement after that. He's not going to win. He's not an emperor. He did not win in 2020. He's a convicted felon, and yet they're clapping. Why? Because they don't want to be disgraced. If they admit that 45 has no clothes on, they admit that they're not supposed to be there. So that's why they're clapping. So the end of that was the next passage is a child, an innocent child who's not part of politics, not part of all of this, says, "Look, the emperor has no clothes." Out of the mouths of babes. That's where it always comes from. The truth. I thought that was so good when Spirit showed me that passage. That's so fitting. Even words like the Capitol and things like that. Yeah, it was gross when he walked onto the Capitol building again and they clapped. It's just gross. But that is what's really going on. They're afraid of losing they're afraid of being unfit for office too. They're afraid of being naked too. So they're in it to win it. And he's not going to win it. So the next thing was the Supreme Court doing all these things. Oh, we've decided on the morning after pill. We've decided on bump stocks, which, I really think it's to scare us Democrats. Really, that's what that is. And they're doing a lot of things that they're like, okay, let's get this done and act like we're working, so that when we don't decide on immunity, they can't say we didn't do anything. Look, we did all this, because they're going to go on vacation here, with their paid vacations to Wyoming and all that. So they're trying to look busy, so we can't say they didn't do anything. But it is in the face of us. Look, we did this. What do you want? Well, you know what we want, because since December you said you're going to decide on immunity when Jack Smith told you to make a decision, and you didn't. Yeah. So, okay. So I talked about the whole thing with, hopefully I covered all of that. The whole thing with, and by the way, yes, Jack Smith is going to have a separate trial, a documents case. And it's the one where 45 was in New Jersey, in Bedminster, isn't it? I want to say Bedminster, isn't it? Westminster. And he was on the phone and, look, I got this document. It's not, it's never been declassified, so I shouldn't talk about it. But let me talk about it. And right there's your smoking gun. And he had the file. They saw him in the room, had the file. That happened in Bedminster. And so that's not Florida. So he's going to be able to move it to, and they have that file because when they searched again, which we didn't know about, they found that file um, that he hid. So there is going to be another documents case with that particular file and others that he hid and said he returned. He didn't. There will be another documents case. Eileen Cannon is unfit. She's clearly was put there on purpose. I've always felt this. A whole year has gone by. You don't need a year for these trials. So she is going to, it's not that she's going to be taken off the case. There's going to be another case. It's clearly not going to ever move ahead with her. She's a sycophant of 45. She was put there on purpose. And so there will be another documents case. There will be guaranteed. Okay, so the next thing, and yeah, it's 3:30 here already. Time goes by fast when I have to go to work. It always does. Last night I was at work, and I think because of like the monthly hormonal stuff, I just didn't feel good. I was awkward and all that. So it happens. Biden signing security agreement with Ukraine for next decade. Yes, he's really setting it up for them to have what they need just in case. But Biden's not going to lose. The debate. That's what I was going to talk about. Okay, so the debate. So Steve Bannon, who's going to go to jail, but he's trying to get out of it still. He's supposed to go July 1st, I believe. Bannon's attorney argued on Tuesday's filing that his imprisonment would block him from acting as a meaningful advisor in the campaign leading up to the November election. He's the one that's been running the show. I told you, I woke up that one night in 2020. I woke up and I heard the name Bannon, and I was like, he's the one. He's the one behind all of this, the black ops and everything. I've talked about this before. He's the one that tells 45 and Flynn and Stone, the Flintstones, all this crazy military tactics and the MAGA stuff and everything. He's the one. So he's been 45's advisor. He wants to be his advisor with the debate. And so, of course, he doesn't want to go to jail. 45 doesn't want him to go to jail. And Alex Jones, by the way, too, has been a voice of this crazy stuff, propaganda. Bannon has his own show too, but you see Alex Jones has to liquidate all his like InfoWars. So his show's going to go away. Bannon's show will go away because he'll be in prison. He is going to prison. But he's betting. He's playing a betting game right now. Let's see if I can get out of prison, stay out. I'll feign some sort of injury or sickness. And he looks sick. So, it could be real. But I have to get out of it because I have to advise 45 for the debate on what to say during the debate. Evil plans. Okay. But he is going to go to prison. Bannon is. He will be sentenced. Well, he has been. He just has to go. He has to turn himself in. Now, the debate is the end of June. Bannon will know before that. And I predict, I'm going to make this prediction right here, that 45 is not going to do the debate. And Intuitive Kim, I listened to her last night, and so I'm going to credit her for this. She said, of course I have to because she said it, but I got spiritual chills when she said it. She said that she sees that 45 is going to claim something about how when they have to turn off the mics, because last time they wouldn't turn off the mics and 45 was just a blubbering fool and wouldn't shut up and was talking over President Biden. And it was really awful and annoying. Well, they're not going to allow that. CNN and whoever's going to cut off the mic of the person who it isn't turn to speak. Well, 45 is going to say, that's a violation of my First Amendment rights. And so therefore, I'm not going to do the debate because they have violated my rights. That's how he's going to get out of the debate. I almost could guarantee on that one. I really think that's what he's going to do. I can't do the debate because my First Amendment rights are being violated, my rights to free speech. So my suggestion is that when that happens, that President Biden says, you know what? It's good. You don't have to show up. I'll do like a town what do you call it, a round table, a town hall meeting with questions from like I guess they don't have a live audience, I heard, but from uh, TikTok and Twitter, threads and all that. So Facebook Live and YouTube Live and all this stuff, Twitch or whatever the heck it is. I don't know. I guess that's for video, for gaming, but live questions from the internet. Let's say that from the net. And so President Biden should make it his time, because 45 won't be there to act the fool and a bully and a clown. It'll actually be better when 45 decides not to go. But when 45 says he won't go, that makes him look like a chicken, because he didn't want to do it. Okay, the other thing about the drug testing, that I've said, when 45 was foaming at the mouth, I got the vision of him doing performance drugs right before he had that videotaped. And so when I saw that vision, I was like, that's, he was foaming at the mouth because he was dehydrated. Probably had a mint. Like I saw him taking an Altoid too. And some people said dementia, but I think it was he literally chewed up a tablet of speed or Adderall for entertainment purposes only, and that was the foam. It was a performance, and he does that. They say we got to get him. It's Weekend at Bernie's, but we got to get this video out there. So we're gonna give him this speed, and he's gonna sound like mad, like Raging Bull, and then people love that. And then everyone around him was on the same drug, probably from El Salvador, which they just went to. And they didn't see the foam at the mouth. And they posted it because they're all high. They're all out of their minds high. So you think, well, maybe that's not a true vision. Maybe that was I'm just making this up. I'm just being creative. But literally the next day, there was a story I read that said a guy that had just been at Mar-a-Lago was taken away and arrested because he was on a performance-enhancing drug. And that's how Spirit confirms this shit for me. Excuse my French. Pardon me for my French. That's how Spirit confirms things. So that's why 45 projects guilt onto President Biden and says, he's on a performance-enhancing drug, because it takes one to know one, or it takes one to accuse one. 45 is accusing Biden of doing something that he knows everything about. 45 is the one on performance-enhancing. He's the one that goes from a dead sleep, and we saw him and heard about him in the pictures at the trial where he couldn't stay awake. They're propping him up. It's like Weekend at Bernie's. They're putting pills in his mouth. He's all sped up. He's all active, and he's mad, raging, foaming at the mouth, mad. And then he crashes. He's the one that should have a drug test. He's the one taking performance-enhancing drugs. Now, my fear is that when 45 says we need to test President Biden before the debate, well, if Ronnie Jackson is in a high position now, how do we know? There's people everywhere that 45 has placed everywhere that are not good people. And I worry that they would spike or switch the P or whatever, the P test. So I, really don't. I think that President Biden should 45 go to the debate, he should say, that's not dignified. Hey, bud, let's cut the malarkey. That's not very dignified, is it? So let's just not have a P tape and just shake hands. Or P tape. Ooh, why did I say P tape? Yeah, let's just not have a P test. But I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that 45 is not going to do the debate. I'm pretty darn sure. Anyway, that's why he said it, though. That's why he wants Biden to do a drug test. Now, speaking of President Biden, he's been through a lot. And does he look slow sometimes? Yes, he does. But you know what? It's been a rough few months. This is hard. Election years are hard. It's hard trying to keep this country together. And I really feel like they don't want Biden to fall. They're scared of him falling, and they put him in these special shoes. And sometimes when he turns slow, I think it's because he's got these weighted shoes on, and he very well may have a bulletproof vest on, because I think Secret Service has gotten death threats for President Biden. And so when you see him walking and turning slow, I really think that's it. He's wearing a vest under his suit and he's wearing special shoes. I'm not trying to make up stuff. We know President Biden. We know how quick he is. He gets a microphone, he's on it. He's very quick-witted. He's very smart. He stutters because he's always had a speech impediment. But yeah. So, well, that topic. Enough of that. Anything else? Anything else with politics? So we have, let me see this. Will 45 go to jail? I've always felt he's going to spend at least one night in jail. I really feel that. But I also see that he could be like Martha Stewart, where he spends 4 months in jail. Now, is that going to be later? It could be. It could be later. Okay, what else do I have here? I have I think that's about it. Oh, that girl on TikTok that does the dowsing rods. She said that she asked if Biden would win the election, and they said yes. And you know what? I don't always believe in those things, but I actually believe her. Well, I already know Biden's going to win, but well, I think that's about it. I went off on my rant, but I had to get those points out, I suppose. And no, is there anything else going on? Any questions, my friends here? Oh, Princess Catherine. Let's talk about her. So, kind of a delicate topic, right? Princess Catherine, she looks very thin, but she looks good. And I'm so happy for her. And they had the thing today. I don't know what it is. We just had Flag Day here in America, but so I don't know what's in England. But she was there. She wore a beautiful white suit, and the hat kind of like Rose from the Titanic, very beautiful, elegant. And the children were there, and William. And she and William had many happy moments there, smiling. Didn't look like they hated each other. But the thing is, all these people on YouTube and online who said she's dead. They put her in a dungeon. They put her in a mental institution. William drinks and beats her, and he cheats on her. Doesn't look like it to me. I think she looks pretty darn good. Trooping of the Color. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jamie. I thought it was like the King's Procession or something like that. Thank you. Yeah, she looks good. She looked happy. She's thin. Oh, and someone said, why didn't she lose all her hair? Because of chemo. Well, you don't always, and I'm assuming that they're doing a special form of chemo that maybe she just, or it could be a wig. But can we not just be happy for her? So there's going to be these YouTubers, psychics, and tarot readers, and otherwise that are going to say it's AI, or it's a body double, or those pictures of the video of the kids are from a year ago. They're bigger now. That's not really Catherine. It is. It's her. And as I said, when she announced that she had cancer, and she looked very frail in that video months ago, can we not just let her heal and have peace? And the whole family, it's very traumatic. And the only reason she had to make that video is because people were saying weird things on the internet. But, YouTubers make up outlandish stories as clickbait, and they make a ton of money. They make a ton of, and you'll notice after they make those videos and they get a ton of views, then they're off and taking vacations. And so they do it for money. They do it for subscribers, to get a lot of subscribers, and they don't care if they're telling the truth or not. Honestly, I think it's uncouth and sad. As I always said, I'd rather be wrong than to gaslight everyone or to make $1 million. I'd rather be ethical if I can and be wrong. So the media over here has gone crazy. About Kate having cancer. It's sad to say, I think a lot of tabloids are excited for another Princess Diana death. Yeah, That's it. I feel like people would rather hear that she died, which would leave her children motherless, and William, who lost his mother without his wife, and people would rather see her dead and say, see, we were right. And it's all this person's fault. And, you know, she's just gone through a dark night of the soul. She said she's still taking chemo, so she's not through it yet. I'm about to go here, by the way. I got to go. I got to eat and get ready for work. But um, yeah, she's not through it yet by any means. But she looked happy, and the whole family. In fact, there was a scene they showed where the kids, who's the George? Is it George? Charlotte nudged George and was like, "Stop doing that." And I thought that was so like, there's a real family right there. I've got opera behind me. Real family, folks. And I saw Charlotte, and I got that she's going to be queen one day, absolutely. And she does look like Queen Elizabeth, very strongly. So, and she has that queenly behavior and mentality. So, she's probably, Charlotte's probably had to put up with a lot. I will watch later. I love you. I love you too, Carolyn. I hope you're doing well. Happy birthday, Harry. Yes, that's right. I thought of today after I went to my job that I wasn't supposed to go to because they weren't open yet. Because I think I switched timelines. And then I was kind of in a bad mood driving home. And I thought, oh, wasn't it Harry's birthday today or yesterday? Or that's right. So this weekend. Happy birthday, Harry. And Gemini. Why is it all like Bob Dylan? Geminis are such good songwriters. They really are. So yeah, happy birthday and nice to see you. All right, Jamie says, I don't know if it's the same in the US, but in the UK, the obituaries are written years in advance. So they're ready to go when someone dies. In America, they do that on TV shows. They will have, like, let's say 45 being indicted, or let's say 45 when he got his 34 felonies, they have it ready. And also when someone dies, I don't know who it was recently. I'm sure they have one for Jimmy Carter. They got the real, his life and memories and interviews and all of that clips. It's all set up and ready to roll. All they have to do is paste in the date, that, oh, he died today. Yeah, we do it too, but it's more in our news media than in our print. So, yep, they're just waiting. Who is it? Don Henley wrote that song Dirty Laundry. They're just waiting for somebody to die or be disgraced so they can talk about it. It's sad. Blessings, Roger and Carolyn, says Fatima. I don't know if you guys can see the comments, so I'll try to post whatever. I'll go a few more minutes. I had some very heavy political topics there, but I had to talk about it because that's what's going on. I don't think 45 is going to do the debate. Bannon will go to jail, I'm pretty darn sure. And what else? What's going to happen this week? Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Jamie says, thank you, Fatima. I wanted to talk real quick about his sentencing parole hearing that he did on Zoom from the comfort of Mar-a-Lago. Now, he skipped out on his first parole meeting, which is supposed to happen right after he was convicted. But that's not uncommon. That can happen. But that's where he probably would have done the P test. The drug test. He didn't do that for a reason. He didn't do it for a reason. I think we all know the reason why he didn't take a drug test. The guy who's telling President Biden to do one, he did not do it. So most people who are having, and I don't know, but I've read, but most people who have had a sentencing meeting, parole meeting, whatever you call it, have to have the drug test. They don't have a lawyer with them, and they have to fill out or answer these questions. And he had his lawyer, Blanche, with him. He didn't have to do the drug test. He got to do it on Zoom at home. That, to me, was a slap in the face to us, the public, and the jury members who went through all of that and have been doxxed. It's a slap in the face. To have his lawyer, they're saying, oh, don't answer that way. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about your E. Jean Carroll case and that you've appealed everything and that you didn't pay the money and you blah, 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 blah. It's a slap in the face. I don't know why they let him get by with that. He's getting special. Now, let me ask you this. It really pissed me off. So, somebody who's going to be, who has been, and thinks they're going to be president again, right? I want to be president again. Think about it. Could they not handle their own meeting? If they're going to be president, shouldn't they be able to handle their own gosh darn meeting? Shouldn't they be able to mention? Okay. And so here's something I want to ask. This is what I want President Biden to say. When 45 says, I can't do the debate because of, they're going to turn the microphones off. This is what I want President Biden to say. Got to clear my head. Do you not have the mental capacity to deal with the debate? Hey, bub, cut the malarkey. Do you not have, don't ask, because the press is going to say, 45 said he doesn't want to do the debate. What they should ask is, why does he not have the mental and emotional capacity to do a presidential debate? Shouldn't that be a simple gesture to show that you're able to be a president and handle the duties of being a president? So I really hope the press can get on that and start asking questions like that. Stop playing his game and saying, oh, he doesn't want to. No. Why does he not have the ability to handle a debate? If you can't handle a debate, you should not be able to handle the duties of being a president. So I really hope the press starts to do that. They need to. Well, that's about it. If I think of anything else, I can make a little video later. I'm going to be working. I usually come home and what do? I have my very long drive home. But it's a beautiful drive because usually I see the sunset and there's this beautiful little pond that I drive by. And so I turn it into just sort of a Zen time. And sometimes I go outside and I look at the lightning bugs, which to me, it's a beautiful time of year to be able to do that and connect with nature. So I probably won't be on later, but if I think of something, I can make a little video and post it. And all right, my friends, I'm wishing you all a beautiful Saturday night, and I shall return sometime, maybe Monday. I'm going to guess that Monday would be, unless something big happens. But all right. Oh, thank you, Jamie. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I hear with my stuffy nose and my headache, but thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. All right. Love you. And take care and shine on. You too, Jamie. Shine on. I'll talk to you later.